Last episode, word got out the Wolves were looking for a new striker. Agents came knocking on my door trying to offload their players. Reporters were asking me who I was going to sign. My controller broke midway through the episode. Two new striking wonder kids joined the Wolves revolution. One of them scored a wonder goal on their debut, but it still wasn't enough to stop us conceding another goal in injury time. And now that the press have caught wind that there might be a leak in the Wolves camp, so I've asked one of my top scouts to figure out the source of the problem. Unfortunately, being a scout for Adrian management doesn't quite pay the bills. We're overworked and underpaid, and thus I've resulted to finding part-time employment at the Howley Poodle, where a leak from the Wolves camp has conveyed some rumblings. And it's Clockety for Doherty. I was fortunate enough to speak to Doherty's mum's plumber yesterday, and she was saying that he's finding it hard. What with all of the speculation surrounding his future, he bleeds yellow, or maybe even orange. Despite some bamboozlement with the attempt of visiting pastures new, is it time for Doherty to hit the dock? Now, there can be no doubt that Matt Doherty is not the number one right back at the club, with that title at the moment going to the 29-year-old 79 rated Nelson Semedo. But I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit shocked. He's been at the club for so many years, despite his brief intermission to Spurs. He's come back to the club and he is pretty much an icon here at Wolves. So if he's the man that's the source of the leak at the club, I'm really quite surprised by his actions. Maybe he senses, having lost his place in the starting 11, and after being put on the transfer list, that his time at the club might well be coming to an end. But even so, I thought the veteran might have a little bit more respect for some of the rest of his squad mates. However, speaking of my scouts being overworked and underpaid, it did get me thinking, whilst I do already have a vast array of scouting talent at my disposal, maybe I need to open my doors and use what's left of this £2 million budget to welcome some more scouting talent to the club. So if you think you've got what it takes to be a top-tier scout here at Wolverhampton Wanderers, I'm letting you know that I am hiring for some new talents. So let me know your transfer suggestions down below and what you think you could bring to the club. Speaking of which, though, it looks like we've already got our first CV through the door. Hi there, Adrian. I'm a Norwegian scout covering North East France and South Germany. I've seen that you might need a right back for the future, having only the 31-year-old Matt Doherty and the 29-year-old Nelson Semedo. I've been looking towards Lille and found a 21-year-old right back named Thiago Silva, a right-footed right back who's brilliant on the ball and very fast. The Portuguese players in our squad would help him, as he's also Portuguese as well. Plus, he's 74 rated with a potential of 83 at a cost of around £15 million. Brilliant for the future. Now, obviously, I'm waiting for the full scout report to come through, but it already looks like he could be a pretty decent bet. As you said, Portuguese would fit into the Wolves setup like a glove, and with him just being 21 years of age, clearly he's got his best years ahead of him. The biggest problem, though, with me only having £2 million left in my budget, and if he's going to cost a potential £15 million, whilst I could potentially try and sell Matt Doherty, with him only being worth about £2.6 million, it's not exactly going to cover his overall fee. So let me know once again down in the comments below, are there any of these potentially high-value players that you think I should try and cash in on? Or are there any more fringe players here at the club that you think I should try and sell to raise more funds? Let me know once again down in the comments what you think. Now, I've mentioned my frustrations before about conceding last-minute goals against both Manchester clubs so far this season, and it seems like those frustrations have spilled out into the Wolves fan base as well. And so that is why another local reporter in the West Midlands Gazette has come asking me questions about my tactics. You keep on counter-attacking. If you want to score more often, either use the tiki-taka game plan you've put on, or switch to a counter-attack, as it would really help. And to be fair, looking at this new tactical setup, I actually think that makes total sense. Since the move away from this very direct counter-attacking 5-2-3 setup, I've tried to encourage my players to move towards a more possession-based tiki-taka style. But with me putting my own tweaks on that system, which kind of contradict each other, for example, having a slow build-up, but making my players run forward as much as possible, as well as absolutely pumping as many players into the box as possible. It just seems like these players at the moment aren't quite responding to my methods. Now, whilst the counter-attacking style would potentially fit into what Wolves have done in the past, part of my remit as Wolverhampton Wanderers manager is to try and imprint a new attacking philosophy here at the Molineux. So with that in mind, I am going to stick to this tiki-taka style, but I'm going to go back to actually what it should be, take away the tweaks that I've put on, and hopefully see whether or not this slight change can make a big impact. But once again, it got me thinking, with me opening my doors to potentially hiring new scouts here at the club, do I also need to do the same thing on the pitch and consider bringing in some extra tactical analysts? So once again, if you think you've got any ideas of how this Wolves team should play, or how we should set up, or which players to play and which roles to get the best out of them, once again, give me your best tactical advice down in the comments below, because just like the scouts, I'm opening my doors, I'm hiring for some new coaching talent here at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Speaking of talent though, after you guys made the decision that you didn't think Pablo Sarabia was going to be good enough to lead the line for me this season, I decided to make two new signings in Jorgen Strand Larsen and Dalinga for a combined fee of over £30 million. And whilst Larsen has impressed in his only game in the Carabao Cup, scoring 2, he's yet to really get an opportunity in the Premier League. And that is because of the incredible performances of the 23-year-old Dutchman. The man, he's competing with 5 games, 3 goals to his name, and it's been a fine start to life in a Wolves shirt. It does really feel like he's propping this team up though, because with Hwang only scoring 1 goal in 7 appearances so far, and despite a promising start with his 17-year-old Rooney Bargi really unable to fill the shoes of the currently injured Pedro Neto, it seems like I'm really light in attacking areas. But with with this man Neto still a couple of weeks away from returning to training, let alone to returning to full match fitness, plus with question marks over his future and his commitment at the club, having requested his exit should we not get European football this season, and of course still with the bulk of my transfer budget being spent, it looks like I'm going to have to continue to rely on some of my young guns to fire me to glory, and hopefully they can do that here today as we are about to head to the Molineux for our very first game of this episode in a titanic clash against our arch rivals Aston Villa. It's the first time we faced one of our rivals here in this career mode, and it's a real opportunity to put a marker down to show the home fans what we can do. And as for the team, the starting 11 will be Sarr in goal, Semedo at right back, Bueno, Marmo and Ep3 as well, Lemina captains with Gomez in the centre, it's Rooney, Bargi, Kuna, Hwang all sitting behind this man, Dalinga up front. And so it is that man, Nelson Semedo, the man whose future at the club is under a lot of questions here, just manages to ghost past the left back and drives to the edge of the box, but there's no one in the box. Where on earth can the Portuguese pull it back to? He pulls it back to Dalinga. It's blocked off. What a start here for Wolves. Rodgers, though, for Aston Villa, the only man up on the left-hand side, real end-to-end started to this game. That is a wonderful ball into Moussa Diaby, who's picked out lovely space in the box, tries to play it across, but my new defensive signing, Mika Marco, in the right place at the right time. Brilliant defending from the Spaniard. And it is that man, Marmol, to bring it away and plays it into Lemina, who takes it away from a couple of challenges there from Aston Villa. Really good play there from now Nelson Semedo has it into Rooney Bargi, and Rooney Bargi has the opportunity to drive forward once again. Bargi switches it onto his left, goes to line up the strike and just lifts it over the bar. But it was an opportunity and a real good opportunity, but that is exactly the sort of bursting run that I want to see from the right winger. A little bit unfortunate with the finish though. There's Rodgers for Wolves, out to Digne on the left hand side. Marmol once again comes across, doesn't manage to put the challenge in though. Douglas Luiz, nice ball into Diaby. Diaby's been the danger man so far, and he almost just ghosted his way into the back of the net. Great save from Jose Sarr. It's going to be Douglas Luiz with the corner. Looks like he's going to take this one short once again into the danger man. Absolutely everything going through the Frenchman Moussa Diaby. He just about manages to lose it there though, and Ep3 clears it into Kuna. Now this is our opportunity to try and break here. I've got options ahead. Can I find Hwang? Has he managed to stay on side? Looks like he has. Hwang into the box. Hwang to strike. Oh, it's awful. Look at the miss. The crowd can't believe it. The frustrations rumble on here at the Molineux. He was clean through. That was absolutely horrendous from a man who's totally out of form. Into Diaby once again. He's been the danger man. Everything, absolutely everything is going through that young man here today for Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz though, into Rodgers. Rodgers into McGinn. McGinn into Gloven. What a save again from the goalkeeper. I tell you what, every single time both of these teams seem to attack, they both seem like they're going to score, but yet neither of them can find the back of the net. Semedo, diving header off the line. Rooney Bargi now tries to head it clear. John McGinn gets there in the end. Aston Villa still have the ball alive with Pau Torres. Back into McGinn on the edge of the box. Back into Moussa Diaby. Wriggling around, finds Luca Digne, shifts it onto his left. Gomez though, just about gets in the way. Bargi will clear his lines. The referee blows for half time. Well, goodness me, that was a tense opening 45 minutes. Somehow neither team able to find the back of the net. They both had huge opportunities, but really struggling in attacking areas so far. Ep3, a nice little pass into Gomez, and Gomez, the central midfielder, releases Hwang on this left-hand side. He's picked him out beautifully, and Hwang has just taken it down on his head, lifts it across, looking to the back post of Bargi. Oh my word, it was a diving header. What a spectacular goal that would have been. And with Dalinga having a little bit of a quiet game so far in the first hour, it is finally time for Strand Larsen to come on and try and show what he can do in the Premier League. And it's Hwang who's got a free kick in a very dangerous position here. I'm just going to try and see if I can loop this one over. Looking for Larsen. Larsen tries to get his head on it. He's just beaten to it though, but it will fall to Bueno. Bueno into Gomez. Takes it down nicely. Just trying to see if he can make it all the way to the corner flag. He does make it all the way to the corner flag. Tries to lift it over. Gets a corner. And it's Rooney Bargi who picks it up on the edge of the box. Lemina now has it. Lemina throws it in once again. Look at Larsen. And Larsen, with his second touch of the ball, gets his head on it. And what a fabulous header it is. And what an impact off the bench 3 minutes on. He's given us a 1-0 lead. Well, he's joining Wolves in real life, and he's joined us here on this career mode, and he's absolutely lit a fire under his Premier League career. A fabulous ball in the box, but he was just sandwiched between two of the Aston Villa players, but he still had the strength to hold them off. He rose highest, and it was a fabulous header off the post into the back of the net. 1-0. Pau Torres, he's under all sorts of pressure here from Larsen, really pressing from the front. That's exactly what I want to see from the young man, but Aston Villa have managed to wriggle it down my right-hand side. It's now back into Alex Moreno, who's in the box unmarked. Oh, what a challenge from Lemina. He absolutely had to make it. It had to be perfect, and my word, it was absolutely fabulous. And now Kuna has the chance to try and release Larsen. Has he managed to stay on side? No, he hasn't. It's Hwang now for Wolves into Kuna. We've really got our tails up here, and Kuna's played a wonderful ball into the channel to Larsen, and Larsen once again is away here. Larsen looking for a second goal of the game. It comes off his left. It falls to Kuna. He's blocked off. That should have been 2-0. It's Tielemans now for Villa. Nice little short pass into Luca Dean on this left-hand side. Wolves now trying to see if they can hold on here as Aston Villa frantically try and come forward and try and see if they can get an equaliser. It's right on the edge of the box. It's Diaby into Douglas Luiz, into McGinn. What a save. And look how much it means to the rest of the Wolves defence. It was a wonderful save from point-blank range. How on earth did McGinn not score from here? If he'd have put it anywhere to the left or the right of the goalkeeper, it probably would have been 1-1. But do not sleep on that save from Jose Sarr. Absolutely fabulous. But now Aston Villa have a corner. We've already conceded late goals so far this season. We've got to make sure that we put an end to it here. It falls to Golovin. What a save again. Aston Villa, our arch rivals, knocking and knocking and knocking at the Wolves door. But so far, we have kept it slam shut. Aït-Nouri with the header away. Konza is going to be the first man to get to it. No, he's not. Lamina gets there. Brilliant defending from the central midfielder. Matty Cash with the throw into Alex Moreno. Golovin picks it up again in the centre of the park. Gets a bit tangled with his fellow Aston Villa player. Douglas Luiz, though, deep into stoppage time here. Manages to wriggle away from a couple of challenges. Tielemans into Diaby. Diaby's in the box. What a save from the goalkeeper again. And look at this. Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper, is up here. Deep into stoppage time. It's thrown into the box. Headed away by Aït-Nouri. Can Hwang get there first? No, he can't. Matty Cash does. They keep it alive. Douglas Luiz blocked off by Lamina. Absolutely brilliant challenge. And the referee blows for full time. Finally, Wolves hold on at the death. We don't concede a last-minute goal, and we come away with an absolutely colossal 3 points here at full-time. That man, Larsson, will get the plaudits. His goal after coming on for just 3 minutes is enough to separate the two teams. As at full-time here, it finishes Wolves 1, Aston Villa 0. An inspired substitution is exactly what I would call it. We end our winless run, and what a team to do it against. It's a win that lifts us up to 12th in the Premier League table, but that doesn't tell the full story, because it's a first Premier League goal for this man, Jørgen Strand Larsen. Bit of a tough time coming in and competing with Dalinga for that starting spot, and at the moment, whilst it seemed like Dalinga was taking the lead, Larsen has come back into my mind, and what a way to do it. Fabulous header, fabulous goal. It does raise the question though, with this 4-2-3-1 system only accommodating for one striker, do I maybe want to consider changing things up altogether and finding a system where the both of them can play up front together? Will it be enough to satisfy the needs of both of these players, and will it be enough to get the best out of the two young guns as well? Once again, tactical analysts, let me know what you think down in the comments below. For now though, it's back to the football, and after an exhilarating 3-3 draw away from home against Bournemouth, we pick up another 3 points at the Molineux, this time beating Newcastle 2-1. And it looks like we're about to be greeted with even more good news, because Pedro Neto, after suffering a horrific injury in the first game of the season, is back in training and has declared himself fit and ready to play. And with Sheffield United up next away from home, it is time to welcome the Portuguese wonder kid back into the starting 11, as we hope to maintain this fabulous run of form. After his brilliant goal against Aston Villa, Larsson is a little bit hard done by to find himself on the bench, but apart from that, it is the usual starting 11. Dalinga keeps his place up front, but as you can see, the big talking point is the return of the Portuguese starlight Pedro Neto. Here we go then, straight away I'm going to play this one over to the right hand side, and straight away I'm going to try and see if I can give Pedro Neto his first touch back in a Wolves shirt, and already he's getting himself involved and already driving through the heart of the Sheffield United midfield. Makes a little bit of space for Dalinga. Dalinga tried to play it down the channel. That's a lovely little flick ball through from Aït-Nouri out to Hwang. Hwang trying to see if he can find an opportunity to shape up to strike here. It is Neto on his right, fires it straight at the goalkeeper. An early warning sign though for Sheffield United. Already getting heavily involved in the play, and that's exactly the sort of play that we have missed in the absence of this man Pedro Neto. Floated into the box, it comes out to Cognat, who heads it clear, only out as far as Gomez. Gomez though to Mario Lamina, and Lamina now is going to try and see if he can find his way out to Cunha on the right hand side. Cunha's going to try and see if he can win this one and throw it right across the box into Hwang. It falls to Neto once again. Neto back into Gomez, just gets the shot all wrong, and in the end it's cleared. It's Jayden Bogle now though, takes it on into the box, plays a nice ball into Archer. Mika Marmol comes across with a challenge. Sheffield United have got a corner. End-to-end start here in the opening 20 minutes at Bramall Lane, as Sheffield United now try and turn the screw. Mika Marmol once again, he's been such an influential figure at the back for me so far this season. Been a real inspired signing, and he's gone slightly under the radar, it must be said, because of all the talk of the attacking players, but really good performances so far from the Spaniard. As Jayden Bogle into Archer. Archer shifts it onto his left. Bueno though with a good block. It's fallen out to Osborne though on the left hand side. We've got to try and hold firm here. Osborne shifting, weaving away, tries to go past Bueno, does go past Bueno into the box. Semedo comes across though with a really good challenge. Sheffield United though have got a free kick here, and it's Hammer is going to take, and he's going to float it into the box looking for Archer. Dalinga though back defending and does a really good job there. of heading it clear out to Hwang. Hwang, though, is waiting, trying to wait for options, finds an option in Ep3, and Ep3 now has green grass to run into here, but it's a brilliant tackle from Jaden Bogle. It's been a real ding-dong battle between the two of them so far in this game. Ep3, though, wonderful ball down the channel into Hwang. Hwang, it's Pedro Neto in the box, can't find him though, good save. Ep3, though, at the beginning of this second half, once again a driving run down this left-hand side, and once again going one-on-one with Jaden Bogle into Lamina. Lamina into Cunha. Gomez, picks it up, smashes it at the defender, falls to Nelson Semedo. We keep the ball alive. Semedo still has it once again. This time looking for Pedro Neto, finds the Portuguese man. He turns it onto his left, looks to try and see if he can go into the centre, lines up a strike, and it's just over the bar. It's Semedo now on the right-hand side. Semedo into that man, Pedro Neto, still trying to be involved and skips away from a challenge. It's a lovely ball from Cunha, just couldn't find Dalinga. My word, that would have been a sensational goal if it had come off. Into Odegaard now. Odegaard blocked off by Bueno. Really good defending, and Bueno now into Dalinga, who's been pretty quiet so far, and he's almost run into a bit of problems, but he's still managed to keep hold of the ball. Dalinga all the way through, trying to find an option. He's just still got hold of the ball. He's waiting for the run of Ep3. He finds the run of Ep3, and now the young man tries to burst down this left-hand side, cuts it back in for Hwang. Hwang into Neto, and Neto on his return back to the starting 11. The Portuguese shows us what we've been missing for the last couple of months with an absolutely sensational strike that lifts the spirits here at Bramall Lane and gives Wolves a 1-0 lead. Well, it all came from Dalinga making a driving run right across the midfield, played it into Ep3, Ep3 into Hwang, and Hwang into the man Neto, who ghosted into the 6-yard box. I'm delighted, 1-0. And he's delighted as well. Fabulous way to kick off this season for Pedro Neto. And now, with Larson getting the opportunity to come on the pitch with the final 20 minutes, is this lift-off for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Nelson Semedo has it though, into that man Pedro Neto, still going strong despite this being his first game, but just as I say that, he goes and gives it away in a really dangerous position. Just a little bit of sharpness there, perhaps a little bit of fatigue creeping into his legs, but Bueno comes across, can't challenge Odegaard. It's a real ding-dong battle, a real tussle between the two of them, but Bueno eventually manages to get the better of him. That is brilliant defending from the young man. And with that turning out to be the last attack of the game, once again it's another hard-fought 3 points here for Wolverhampton Wanderers. As at full-time it finishes Sheffield United 0, Wolves 1. It's another huge win, and it's the first goal of the season for the returning Pedro Neto. He's delighted to be back in the starting 11, and I'm delighted too because his goal and the run of results that we've had at the moment has lifted us up to 7th place in the table, our highest so far this season. I questioned Pedro Neto's commitment to the club following his desire to leave at the beginning of the season, but he really showed that despite that, he is not going to let it affect his performances. Wonderful performance, great to have him back in the team. One man though who I'm slightly more concerned with is the performances of this man, Hwang. Yes, he is my highest rated left midfielder and he is the number one choice on that side of the pitch, but his performances haven't warranted that status, especially when he's giving away absolute howlers like he did against Aston Villa. And so he got me thinking, whilst I've still only got £2 million to spend, having sent some of my youth scouts out to try and see if they can find some of the best young talent across Europe, maybe there's some talent here that I could potentially look to try and take advantage of, and that is certainly the case because this man, Camilo Rocha, at just 17 years of age, it looks like he's got the potential to be a 94 rated superstar, and with him being Portuguese and having the ability to play up front as well as in other attacking areas across the pitch, has one of my scouts potentially gone and found the very next Cristiano Ronaldo. And whilst he might only be 52 rated, I see no point in leaving him in my youth academy, and so that is why I've decided to promote him to the senior squad, which is something he is absolutely delighted with. And with Fulham at Craven Cottage up as our next Premier League game, I'm about to do something incredibly bold, and that is to stick him straight in the starting 11. It's a very questionable decision, but I'm hoping if you're good enough, you are old enough, and I'm also hoping it will be the real rocket that Hwang needs to really kick-start his season here at Wolves. Castagna, though, for Wolves has it. Ep3 clears it away, and it will be that man Rocha with his first head of the game. He does head it clear, but doesn't head it very far, but in the end makes amends and wins the challenge back. Really good start for the young man. And he's got it once again from Ep3. Rocha weaving, wriggling around, and he's done a really good job of feeding it back into the left-back, who now bursts down this left-hand flank. He's got no options in the box, though. He's going to wait for the cutback, finds the cutback into Dalinga. What a block from Diop. Rocha, look at him, weaving, wriggling, shifts it onto his right, goes to line up the shot. My word, it's been a very good start for the young man. Look at this, he was going all the way, went past about 2 Fulham players and just tried to get it off with his right foot, and he just lifted it over the bar. It's Gomez, floats it out to Ep3 on the left-hand side. Rocha has just drifted infield, and I'm going to try and see if I can find him. I do find him. Rocha still has it. Rocha tries to play it through, bundled off of it though by tossing Adebayo, but he's going to continue to try and press. Adebayo though wriggles away from a couple of challenges. Good defending in the end from Fulham. Castagna down the line into Wilson. Mika Marmol comes across. It's in the end. It goes across to Broja. Broja, though, lovely ball into Andreas Pereira. Andreas Pereira into the near post. Could Jose Sarr have done better? Wolves have conceded a goal in the opening 40 minutes, and it's a wonderful finish at that from Andreas Pereira. He got into the penalty area. He managed to ghost away from my two centre-backs, and Jose Sarr really should have done better from that angle. He was at the near post. He should have at least got a touch in it, but he didn't. Fulham lead 1-0, and it's Wilson once again for Fulham. They've got their tails up, but Mika Marco comes across, tries to challenge, doesn't do well enough though, but his central defensive partner Bueno does. Rocha into Dalinga, lovely little turn around the corner between the two young men, and Rocha is away once again. Rocha though plays it into Pedro Neto, who's come central. He's looking for the overlapping run of Semedo. Where is the run from Semedo? Come on, Semedo, hurry up! What are you doing? He now eventually manages to get on the ball and streaks down this right hand side, looking for an option in the box. Doesn't find one, finds Cunha instead. Cunha into Lamina, Lamina into Rocha. Rocha takes it on his left, it's blocked, and in the end the chance goes begging. Well, as we start the beginning of this second half, we had the better of the chances of the two teams, it must be said, but we could not find the back of the net, and frustratingly, Fulham have taken an early 1-0 lead here. We've got to try and see if we can show some character to get ourselves back on level terms. Semedo under a bit of pressure from Willian, and he's given the ball away in a really dangerous position, Semedo, and now Willian plays it back into Ballo-Touré. Neto comes across with the challenge though to try and intercept, doesn't manage to though. Ballo-Touré manages to float it in. Bueno this time though gets onto it, and that's a horrendous challenge straight through the back of Gomez, and the referee issues just a yellow card for Lukic. Pedro Neto though in a bit of trouble and in a bit of bother, and he's lost it to the goal scorer Pereira, but Bueno's come across again, and Neto now picks it up once again. Neto has it, looking for the run of Cunha, just lifts it over the top. He manages to find Cunha, and Cunha takes it on, and Cunha doesn't have any options though. Where on earth is Dalinga? Why is he not in the right place at the right time? Semedo though keeps it alive. Pedro Neto, Neto this time into Dalinga. Dalinga tries to line up the strike. Great interception from the defender. Ballo-Touré though on the right hand side goes one-on-one with Semedo, throws a lovely ball across into Wilson, just drags it wide. But with 70 minutes gone, you can see I'm going to make a couple of changes. Dalinga, the tried and trusted substitute of Larson, comes on. As you can see, Rocha departs as well. Faded a little bit after a strong showing in the opening 45, and I'm hoping Hwang can come in and resurrect his poor form. And it will be that man Hwang who takes it on. Lovely little touch away from the defender, and he's going to try and see if he can use his pace to get away from him as well. Turns it into the centre, this time finds Ait-Nouri. Really good start from coming on. Ait-Nouri into the box, into Cunha. Fires it straight against the goalkeeper, but that's much better from Wolves. Neto has it once again in a dangerous position. Looks for the overlapping run of Semedo. Finds that run of Semedo, and Semedo's going to look for the run of Hwang at the back post. He finds Hwang. Hwang tries to take the header on. It's cleared away though by Castagna. Only out as far as Lamina. Lamina takes it on and looks over to the right hand side. Finds Semedo. Nods it down into Bueno. We've kept the ball and this attack alive. It's Cunha who's come central and come deep to pick it up. Into Larson on as a sub. Larson tries to play it down the channel. Not what you want from your striker, and we give it away, and that's a really, really good attack that breaks down. There's Bassi with the throw. About 5 minutes remaining on the clock here for us to try and see if we can resurrect a point at least here at Craven Cottage, as Semedo puts in a really good challenge and now wins the ball back and tries to see if he can release Pedro Neto, but instead manages to find a wonderful ball into Cunha, who can't keep it alive. Really good defending from Paulinho, but Gomez manages to get on the scraps here. Larson into Cunha. This is our last attack of the game. Cunha to try and drive into the edge of the box. He continues all the way in. Cunha goes alone, cuts it back into Larson, who just puts it over the bar. Well, that was the chance, and it was a chance that we did not take, and it means here we're at full time at the end of the 90. It finishes Fulham 1, Wolves 0. Well, that was obviously not the result I wanted, especially not the result that this man wanted on his senior debut. And it does just go to show that we still have a long way to go to try and maintain the consistency we need if we want to keep our place in the top half of the table. I think Rocha can be proud of his performance, especially the opening 45. He was very influential and very unlucky not to get a goal on his debut. And to be fair to Hwang, when he came on, he did look dangerous and he did ignite a little bit of spark into our attack, and I'm hoping that was exactly the sort of shot in the arm that he needed to try and resurrect his poor form. As for the short-term future of this man, Carmelo Rocha, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Yes, he is only 52 rated, and you would think he wouldn't be good enough for my starting 11, but if the opening 45 minutes is anything to go by, perhaps he does still have something to offer. So should I keep him at the club and try and see if I can find a place in this squad for him, or should I try and see if I can stick him on the loan list to get some much-needed first-team football elsewhere? Once again, let me know down below what you think, but that is going to be that for the end of today's episode. Tactical analysts, scouts, let me know what you think. I am hiring here for Wolves, and hopefully I'll see you again for episode 4. Thanks for watching.